Welcome to Horace Douty YouTube. Today is the first of several history lessons on the topic of General Robert E. Lee, and I'm filming this on the campus of Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. In my book, History Lessons from a Country Church, I focus on the last years of Lee's life, and today we begin with his arrival in what was then a small mountain village. General Lee comes to Lexington. General Robert Edward Lee is one of the most celebrated heroes of Southern America. Does it not seem strange that he would choose to finish out his life in a mountain village that he had never seen before? This remarkable leader could have chosen any address in the Southland as his post-war home, and he would have been welcomed with enthusiasm. After the Appomattox surrender, the Lee family situation was heartbreaking. The victorious federal government had confiscated all 13 acres of their real estate, including their beautiful Arlington mansion. General Lee was getting old, and he was not in good health. Not only was he now unemployed, he was under indictment and subject to imprisonment. Some radicals wanted him to be hanged. In a borrowed tenant house outside Richmond, the Lees considered their uncertain future. To that tenant house rode Judge Brockenbrough from Lexington, Virginia, dressed in a borrowed suit of clothes. He introduced himself to General Lee and offered the old soldier a job. "Come," he said, "and be president of Washington College. We have no money, almost no students, but you can make a difference." And to what now seems to be a miraculous answer, General Lee said, "Yes, I will do it." The acceptance was not immediate. He added some painful questions. He said, "My age and my health are working against me. I have life-threatening legal problems. How can I teach young men to respect civil authority when I may be imprisoned at any time? I may not be an asset to your college." But the trustees of Washington College were willing to gamble. The contract was signed. The handsome white-haired warrior saddled his beloved warhorse Traveler and rode to Lexington. It is clear that our noble hero wanted work. Honor demanded that he earn a living and support his family. Lee prayed that the position at Washington College would allow him to improve young lives and make the world a better place. His earnest prayer was answered and fulfilled, continuing to this very day. The college survived. Judge Brockenborough proved to be a close friend for Lee. He opened a new school of law in the college, and he walked from Thornhill every day across town and to the campus, greeting Lee morning and afternoon. Surprising coincidences of history helped make Lexington look attractive. Lee saw the place for the first time in August 1865 as he took on the new job. But fate was drawing some threads together. His son Custis, only weeks earlier, had eagerly accepted an offer from Virginia Military Institute next door to be a professor. Father and son would be together in Lexington. More intriguing is the odd action of Virginia's General Assembly early in 1861. It ordered that the body of Henry Lee be brought from Georgia and reinterred in Virginia, in of all places, Lexington. Henry, who was nicknamed Light Horse Harry Lee and hero of the American Revolution, was Lee's father. The Civil War violently interrupted transfer of Henry's body, but Lee knew it would be accomplished one day. Lexington, Virginia would be home to at least 3 generations of the Lee family. It was a breathtaking unfolding of history, unforeseen, unexpected. Lee also knew that the little college had been called Liberty Hall. It was named Washington College only after George Washington gave an enormous gift to the school. Lee's own wife was part of the Washington family. Such ties with Lexington have helped point him toward Rockbridge County. The connections do not end there. Before the Civil War, General Lee wrote to his wife, Mary, instructing her to remove from Arlington House the silver, the George Washington letters, and other priceless articles, because, he said, war is coming, it is inevitable. Guess where those precious trunks were buried? Right here in Rockbridge. The Lees had pondered the problem of security and concluded that Lexington, Virginia was a safe spot. As Mrs. Lee wrote later, it is the most inaccessible place that I know. With the hindsight of history, I can say, be nice now, Mrs. Lee, because that inaccessible place is where you will be lying forever. The poor lady had no inkling that she and her family would end up living and dying in Lexington. She was not quite correct about Lexington's inaccessibility. General Hunter and 1,800 troops found Lexington easily enough one June morning in 1862, taking everything along the way. But the trunks from Arlington House were not discovered. General Lee knew that upon his arrival, the family valuables would be dug up. Mary had written a note to Francis Smith at VMI. I thank you for your care of our silver and our papers. Can they be safe where they are until the close of the war? I would like to preserve the only relic left of our once happy home. Those trunks contained articles and papers and silver, not only from Arlington House, but also from Mount Vernon, home of George Washington. The father of our country had adopted a son who was his wife, Martha's grandson, by her first marriage, George Washington Park, Custody, Mary Lee's father. It staggers the mind to realize that the worldly goods of the aristocratic Lee and Washington families were successfully preserved under a barn near Fairfield, Virginia, a few miles outside Lexington. History also conspired to bring Thomas Jonathan Jackson to Lexington prior to the war. Lee knew that this powerful compatriot's body now lay there in the little town of Lexington. These are some of the surprising elements that combined to bring Robert E. Lee to Rockbridge. Lee interpreted the opening doors as acts of divine providence, guiding him to this very place. What is Lee's connection to the churches of Rockbridge? Well, there are several. Without Oxford Presbyterian Church's pastor, William Graham, there would not have been a job, because Washington College would not have been here. Without Robert E. Lee, the college would probably not have survived. And without the college, some of the churches around here would not have survived either. Through more than 2 centuries, this college has provided life-saving leadership to the Presbyterian churches of this area. That school has educated some of the pastors, including the late Dr. Deal. Those are the times of Lee Chapel. And of course, without Washington College, I myself probably would not be here, because I graduated from there and went into the ministry, and I certainly would not be writing these history lessons for you. Intriguing connections, most would be forced to agree. And I hope you enjoy hearing a bit about these chapters of Lee's life. There will be more to come over the next few weeks on each Thursday. Copies of my 2-volume History Lessons from a Country Church may be purchased downtown Books in Lexington or the Bookery in Lexington, and also on Amazon. If you like these lessons, I encourage you to subscribe, hit like, hit click, and the little icon bell for notification. And share these videos on your social media. I really appreciate it. Blessings. I hope you'll join me next time.